What's going on, guys? We are back again. We're going to be discussing another movie. And obviously, what you're seeing on our screens is the Tomorrow War. Now, been wanting to kind of talk about this because I saw it and I was interested. I mean, not exactly who was in it, but more because along the lines of what exactly this was going to be about. Now, saw this last night. I saw it on Saturday night. Recording this on Sunday. Now, whenever I'm able to post this, but this was actually very interesting. You have where Chris Pratt plays as Dan Forrester, who is a retired military man who is now a science teacher, and he's just trying to go above the chain. And then there's one day where, close to Christmas, they're having a party and they're watching a soccer game, and what happens is there are soldiers that come from 30 years into the future, from the future, saying that there was a war that broke out between humans and a species called white spikes, who has decimated probably 90% of the planet. And human beings are losing the war, and they start recruiting people from 2022, which is only a year away, and they use a device that is able to get them there for 7 days and then brings them back. And there is a machine that they built into the future to do so. They can only bring people there and back, and only bring people that have already died. And Dan's character quickly figures this out. His wife does not want him to go, but if he doesn't go, then something's going to happen to him as well as her and their daughter. So she even says, go to your dad, who is played by J.K. Simmons. So now we have two former Marvel stars, Marvel stars that are in this film. Very interesting. And J.K. Simmons does kind of play like a badass. He plays like an old school Vietnam veteran. And he unfortunately did walk out on Dan when he was a kid. He's been trying to make it up to see, his granddaughter, but he won't let him. And finally, when we do see Dan actually goes to get into for recruitment, they don't have them go through nothing. Guys, let me rephrase this. They don't have them go through nothing. They just give them a gun, show them how to shoot it if they know how to shoot, and then they send them into the future. Is pretty much what they do. And it's really interesting because only a few actually know how to handle a gun, and they send them in, and I'm not gonna lie, guys, this looked like King Kong and Godzilla and the Kaiju's playground, the way it looked. And what we have is these white spikes. They are extremely. They are smart. They have tentacles, fangs, and all this other kind of stuff. It's crazy of what exactly they did. And the only way I know how to describe this film is if you mix Independence Day, Terminator, and I Am Legend all together in one movie. Out of my opinion. But throughout the story, it's trying to figure out exactly where did these things come from? Where exactly did these things come from? And throughout the film, Dan actually meets his older daughter, Mary, and she is a leader of the Resistance. She is a colonel in the Resistance, and she specifically asked for her father to basically come to the future, so that way she could learn from him, talk to him, and be able to learn things possibly that she did not learn from him. And throughout the course of the film, it's really about survival. A good majority of humanity is already dead. These white spikes, they eat you. They'll eat anything, whether it be animals, human beings, anything. No matter what you do, they're extremely hard to kill, and they're trying to figure out exactly a big way to kill these things. And finally, when they come up with a way to kill it, which is a toxin that between Dan and his daughter come up with, they have no choice but the last minute. They got this from a female, the main female, who they were able to capture after some hard work, that when they finally are able to develop a cure, he only has like a few hours / minutes left to get out. And finally, after what happens in the future, he goes back and he can't go back due to the machine gets destroyed. And it really messes him up because he does not know what to do. And, anyone that is a parent, you'll fully understand. Seeing something happen to your kid, you're gonna do everything in your power to protect him or her, and be able to do what you can. And this really showed it. And there's a scene where he actually goes back to his dad, Dan does, to get help. Because he tells him, look, if we don't do something in 30 years, we're going to lose the planet, pretty much. And when they do this, they have to go on their own to Russia because they don't know. All they know is the precise location where they occurred in Russia. There was no spaceship, no nothing. And what's really interesting is that he has to ask one of his students. Dan has to ask one of his students exactly, which I found kind of silly, even though the kid was a huge volcano nerd and had to give them information about volcanoes because there was volcanic ash underneath one of the nails of the one of the guys that has done 3 tours, 21 days into this crazy world due to he had cancer. So that was the reason why they were able to do it in the present. And then one of the ones that he met was I want to say a professor or a scientist at one of the colleges, I believe in Florida. So he was able to travel there and get information from him, and they combined it together where they're going to be at. So when they finally figure it out, they travel to Russia. And what's really interesting is they realized that this ship has been buried for several years, for over 1,000 years, and they've just been there. Whatever species that crashed upon Earth had a whole colony for cargo. And it was insane of the way that they had this go. Now again, I'm not trying to give too much of spoilers away. Again, go see this film, man. It is intense. I'm not the biggest Chris Pratt fan. I'm not. I've seen, of course, Guardians of the Galaxy. I've seen Jurassic World, and second Jurassic World. I've seen, I would say maybe a handful or a good majority of his films, and I was a little shocked that we actually were able to see, I would say, a very good movie by him, because there's some movies by him I just can't get into, but this one I actually got into, and it was really done well. And I will say J.K. Simmons was a damn beast in this film, man. J.K. Simmons kicked ass in this film. I really enjoy him playing as J. Jonah Jameson, but seeing him as this character was absolutely amazing. And seeing him action, he was actually very muscle beat. He was ripped for this role, man. You could tell he put a lot of work into this role. So someone for his age, I'm glad to see he's still acting, that he's still in the game, and to see two current former, however you want to say it, Marvel stars doing something that you wouldn't see probably do together, but it's pretty cool to see. And overall, I did enjoy this film. But overall, let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments down below. Were you guys able to watch the Tomorrow War? Either way, let me know what you guys think about it down in the comments down below. If you did see it, did you guys hate it? Did you guys like it? Was it okay? What were your thoughts about it? I'd personally like to know down in the comments down below. Let's have a great conversation. Do you think there will be a second movie? Do you think there will be more connections, a lot of theories? Because again, this movie really gets you thinking of what exactly is under our ice on this planet. I mean, it really does get me wondering, even though, yes, this is a movie, but just think about this, guys. 1,000 years ago, there was just land. There was no buildings. It was just land. And we don't know what possibly could have crashed here. It could have been a meteorite or something. We don't know. I mean, this really gets you thinking of this could happen. I mean, anything's possible in the world. I mean, you guys call me crazy, you guys call me whatever you want, but just imagine. Just imagine if something like this happened. We would be in deep crap. I mean, even though in the movie, all the nations come together, all the world leaders come together, and it still wasn't enough, because it just wiped out all the military and civilians like they were nothing. It just literally wiped them out. They reproduced quickly. They ate human beings, they ate cattle, they ate animals, they ate anything that came in their way. They used spikes to stop you, and then they rip you apart, whether it be with their claws, their teeth, whatever they could. So it really gave me almost like a Halo vibe in a way, like back and forth a tiny bit. Same thing like I said, Independence Day, Terminator, and I Am Legend. But I will definitely say 1 out of 10. I give this probably a 9. I'll give it a 9. I think that's fair. But overall, I firmly enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments once again, and I'll see you guys as always on the next one.